My name is Paris Dupree, and my poster was using acceptance and commitment therapy to decrease self-injurious behaviors in children with autism. My participant is known as DB. DB is 5 years, a 5-year-old boy. He has not started school yet, but he is a little bit behind developmentally and cognitively. He has some delays. But so we are doing a study on him. We've completed a study on him because he has engaged in multiple self-injurious behaviors, but the most prominent has been head banging. And throughout this study, we also took note of the other two that were very, very frequent with him, which was nail biting, like to the nub, and slapping his face with both hands. So those were taken on a partial interval recording data type thing, and the head banging was done with a frequency counter. And to, I guess, combat the head banging, we incorporated ACT therapy. ACT therapy is acceptance and commitment therapy. There are 6 different domains of that, and those different domains contribute to the overall life that a client wants for themselves, along with their peers and family, and what is good for their long-term, I guess, state or personality, everything. ACT therapy is amazing. And so this was done with a multiple baseline design across 3 settings. We did speech, we did OT, we did home. And the independent variable would be the ACT therapy. The dependent variable would be the number of times he banged his head. And data was taken, as I said, using a frequency counter and partial interval recording for the other 2 behaviors that weren't as frequent but still very important to us because they all fall under self-injurious behaviors. So for ACT therapy, it was completed on a continuous basis, daily, every week, 30 minutes prior to session. And if there was not a session that day, like there was a home session, then it would be done telehealth for him, and he would I guess be zooming in with those who were there in the clinic. And this was run by an ACT coordinator who also participated in the therapy with them. It was only for 30 minutes, but they would all share. Well, first the ACT coordinator would start with a simple story or example of some sort, and then they would all incorporate their own stories and talk about it, and they would all discuss how these different things would not fit into the life that they want for themselves, or how this can impact their future in a negative way, and how they can turn it around, what would be better as a replacement behavior for these types of things. And everyone that was a part of the ACT therapy did participate in self-injurious behaviors as well. So for this in specific limitations of this study, I felt like there was not enough time really to implement things that I would have wanted to. For instance, like being in the room as a therapist or as a BCPA, I feel like that's so important to know how aware your client is of you being there. And I feel like if we weren't there, if we had video camera set up or something where we could see into the room without him actually knowing that we were there, would have been very helpful. In the future, I would say baseline data is more important, and I should have taken out the time or had the time to be able to do more baseline data prior to the implementation of ACT therapy. Okay, so with the method, I had my steps, which I just went over, but something that's very important, if they do engage in self-injurious behaviors throughout the day, you just block them and reinforce them for sitting in a chair, because the most thing that we're working on is head banging. You cannot bang your head when you're sitting in the chair. And also, if any self-injurious behavior was occurring during the ACT therapy, then they will be removed immediately and required to complete 2 calming strategies before returning. These behaviors are mostly seen in the home, and once we implemented the ACT therapies, I don't know if the telehealth played a role, it's hard to say, but all of the behaviors did decrease across all settings, and ACT therapy in children with autism does seem to decrease self-injurious behaviors.